Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Logic here with Hardknocktv. I'm about to sit down with my boy Nick Huff to discuss my third studio album, Everybody.
Killing Spree.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your inspiration behind it and just like where your mind was at with all the different things that were going on in the world.
You know what's really crazy is like, so just being a person who loves like rap music, it doesn't matter, trap music, like all that shit. Cause there's a time and place for that shit, you know what I mean? Like it's weird cause it's like bittersweet. We've had that conversation like, okay, why gloat? Why talk about this shit? And it's like, well, that's kind of where it comes from, you know, big L, I got more bitches than you, got this, got that, whatever. But then like, why do we need to say that? Or is like, why do we feel the urge to go buy chains and this and that? But then again, we never had that, we didn't have that. So that's why we do that to show, look, hey, look what we've done, which is kind of primitive. You know, nowadays it's more, but anyway.
But that's kind of how it's like a way to show society that we've quote unquote made it.
Yeah, so in that vibe, when I heard the beat, the first thing that came to my mind was ass, titties, pussy, money, weed. I don't know why. It was just like ass, titties, pussy, money, because that's what I'm used to hearing. And then that clicked in my mind. That's what I'm used to hearing. That's what I'm used to seeing on the internet, especially. So ass, titties, pussy, money, weed, everywhere I look at Killing Spree, all the things they wanted me to be is all the things I turned out to be. Ass, titties, pussy, money, weed, all the things they wanted me to be is everything that I like. So it's a play on like words of like liking Instagram. Because like, yo, I like Rubik's Cubes, I like video games, I like fucking, you know, the most basic shit, and yet my timeline is filled with like bitches twerking and like half naked photographs and all this other stuff. And hey, you know, the human body is beautiful, so whatever. But I'm saying like, I'm not even looking at it. Can you imagine like, you know, whenever I have kids and like they're on this device and what they're gonna be exposed to? That's fucking crazy. Yep. And then through that, I felt like, you know, it allowed me to talk about the fact that like there could be a trending topic on Twitter or this or that that's like over our election or who's going to be the president or who's going to be this. It's like so-and-so's ass shot or so-and-so's this. And it's like, that's so crazy to me. And it's not, and once again, it's not even like from a judgmental place because I'm there too, you know, like, you know, there's things going on in the world and I'm like, damn, that sucks. Like, you know what I mean? But like, what the fuck? You know, like it's just sometimes it's like, I'm just not in the mood for that right now. You know, it's just normal. And so I talk about it, that we're all kind of like slaves to our phones because we are. But it's also like a positive, but it's a negative too, because it's like yin and yang, you know? Like your phone's amazing, it's incredible. Everybody looking for the meaning of life through a cell phone screen, like, which I love that line because it's like, so am I. I'm always like looking for the meaning like of happiness or looking at fans or, you know, things that are music related or texting my friends or whatever. It's just always there. And yeah, so which is pretty crazy. But I called it Killing Spree because that's, you know, everywhere I look at Killing Spree, like every I look here, I look there, but people are so focused on other things. And that's why it opens, you know, real shit going on in Lebanon, but I don't give a fuck, my favorite show was coming on. Hashtag pray for this, pray for that, but you ain't doing shit, get away from that. That line to me was a big one because when everything was going on with like Black Lives Matter, and I actually called Killer Mike to talk to him about this, there was all these people that were like, how come you're not hashtagging it? Which, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, oh, that's your white side, or you this or that, or why don't you just, they were like, you not tweeting hashtag Black Lives Matter is just like tweeting all lives matter, and like all these people just attacking me and saying all this shit, and then it was like getting really bad, and then it was getting racist towards me, and I'm like, dang, like, and I just wasn't saying shit, and I was like, oh, okay, and I saw all these people who were like, there's straight up, Black Lives Matter movement is important, it is incredible, it is amazing, I back it, I'll fucking wave that flag any day of the week. But when all these things are going on and people are like, how come you're not talking about the shooting of this or that or this or that? I'm like, yo, I'm not even fully educated on it. Like, I'm just learning about this brother who just got shot. I can't even believe that. And now there's this over here and this and this and all this and stuff. People are like, why don't you talk about it? Why don't you talk about it? Talk about it. Why don't you fucking hashtag it? Why don't you this? And I was like, man, fuck all y'all. Instead of hashtagging it and letting that shit live for 2 months, because it's the in thing to do where you got like, you know, young white people like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, man. Like, da-da-da. Now, fuck that. I'm going to do a whole album that will live forever. And now, obviously, that is an extreme point of view from a person in my position, in my situation. Obviously, a hashtag is important. It brings awareness. It brings that's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying that when people were attacking me and saying like, you know, hashtag this and hashtag pray for that, but it's like, but you ain't really doing shit. You see your buddies doing it, so you're doing it. There are people out there from their heart that do that and campaign and spend time and money and travel and all this. And then there's the cool, like the fad that's like, yeah, hashtag whatever, whether it's Black Lives Matter or, you know, what's going on in the Muslim community or any of this shit. And it is important. So like, I'm not knocking somebody for doing that, but when you do it and you go, hey, why the fuck ain't you doing that, bro? And then you get angry at me, right. And then you start cursing me, and then you start saying racial things to me that are the opposite of everything you're trying to stand for. And then it's like, all right, you know what? That's cool. I'm gonna go make an album about it. So, yeah, so there's that line. Hashtag pray for this, pray for that, but you ain't doing shit, get away from that. Blame it on the black, blame it on the white, blame it on the gun, blame it on the Muslim. Everybody want to blame him, blame her. Just blame it on the motherfucker killing everyone. Because it's like, this dude might be like, in the name of Allah or Jesus Christ or this or that, but it's like, the whole Christian community isn't responsible for that, or the Muslim community or this or that. And that's why I say in the mission statement, like, you know, somebody who's pissed off and believes whatever they believe and do something in the name of Allah or say they're Muslim and that's why they're doing it, that person doesn't represent an entire religion or sect of people, just like the President of the United States does not represent its citizens. So it was just more like me kind of really, I mean, I've never talked about this shit before. So It was like, I'm going to talk about, all right, we're focused on ass, titties, pussy, money, weed, and I'm going to make it sound really tight so we can like swag to it. And then I'm also going to discuss these things. And like, yo, it really hurt when people were like, the people were tagging me in posts with like other artists, like white artists. And they were like, fuck you, you're white and fuck this and fuck that. And they'd be like, one tag, I'll never forget it. It was like, cause I'll go see like fans who tag me in fun shit. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? And somebody was like, fuck you, Logic, you ain't black. Like, even if you are half black, you're still white. So fuck you, you faggot. And then they were like, using all those big words, thinking you're smarter than everyone else, and da-da-da, and basically just like making fun of me for having a vocabulary, which is whatever, but I'm saying that's those type of people. So just so you understand, it's not like people who are like, hey, Logic, you know, how come you haven't tweeted Black Lives Matter? Like, no, those are people where I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm educating myself on the situation at hand, who's been killed, what happened, this is, first of all, it should never happen, like blah, blah, blah. Like, those are people I have conversations with. Right. It's the other people that are like, fuck you, like Black Lives or this or anything. It doesn't matter. It's not just Black Lives. Let's not try to paint it like that as a, no. But it could be anything, any hashtag this or that, or why aren't you talking about this, or why aren't you discussing that? And so it was like shedding light on all those things for the first time, but doing it in a place that would live forever on and up.
I remember us having a long conversation about this. Because you as a human being were concerned about everything that was going on, but you didn't know the best way to voice that, you know, your opinion on things. And like you said, you wanted to know more about what was going on.
I was being pressured into doing something that would have ultimately led to, I'm not gonna say a mistake, but like, you should never do something because other people want you to do it. Right. Just like with making music, like, look, no, Logic, you should stick to the raw shit, or no, Logic, you should stick to the Bobby Tarantino shit, or no, Logic, you should this, or everybody's, and I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? That's why I'd be like, I don't fuck with nobody, give a fuck, you know? Even my fans, when fans, you have this sect, oh, Logic, you should do this. Nah, fuck that, I'm gonna do me, and you still gonna love me because you love me, you know, and I love you. So you might be upset that for this, I'm doing some 90s boom bap shit. Well, you're gonna be upset. That sucks. But you know, the message is good, so shut the fuck up. We're gonna have a good time together. You know what I mean? That's a real thing. Let's have a good time. And then the other side could be like, oh, you're upset. I'm doing some turn up shit. Da da da. So going into that, when people are like, no, do this. No, I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna do me, and it's peace, love, and positivity always. And that's the thing that sucks, especially when that whole thing was at its height. I would tweet and say things like, peace, love, and positivity. Remember, you know, we are all born equal, but we are not treated equally. And this is the fight for equality of all man, women, and child, regardless of race, religion, color, creed, and sexual orientation. People are like, hey, fuck you and that all lives matter shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's not what I said. Right. I didn't say that, I didn't even fucking come close to saying that. And the crazy thing is, I've been saying this forever. Peace, love, and positivity, equality of everybody. Be yourself, be who you are. And then so as the times start changing, people go, oh, all lives and all this, what the fuck you saying? And I'm like, man, please go look at my last years and years of tweets about everybody. Like, I've tweeted Black Lives Matter. I've been on stage in front of 30,000 people and said Black Lives Matter because they fucking do, man. Right. They totally do. Straight up, 100%. But it's like, yeah, you just gotta stand by you. And like I said, because people can even try to misconstrue this shit, you know what I mean? But it's like, yo, I'm proud to be black, fuck it. So that's all that matters, and I support any movement for the better of humanity and for the fight of equality. Yeah, I'll pick up any flag any day of the week.
You were talking about everybody scrolling through their life. Now, this year, I've noticed more than past years, you've taken time out of your life to kind of disconnect from like Twitter and like disconnect from just the social media thing. Why was that important to you?
I think the main reason why it was really important to disconnect was for my own mental health and just like dealing with anxiety and everything I was going through. I have so much on my plate and I really don't think about it, you know? I'm working on film and TV and my book and TV shows and albums and just so much. And then there's, you know, other artists I'm working with, and just there's just touring and traveling and being a husband, and there's just so much. And then on top of that, it's like, then there's social media, making sure you're up to date with your posts and your pictures and what's good, and do you think people will like this or enjoy this, or can I impact somebody with this, make them laugh, make them smile, make them think, contemplate this, that, interacting with my fans, which I do all the time. Go, hey, how are you, what's up, knowing fans' faces and Twitter handles and this, and just so much. Sometimes you just got to really just step back and just disconnect. And so I think on this album and in my life, I did that more than ever. Another reason why I think that this album sounds so unique in its sonics is because I didn't really listen to any rap when I was making it. So I would like tune in to be like, oh, you know, so-and-so just dropped, or, you know, this is dope, you know, and even just kind of find inspiration here or there through different things. But for the most part, it's, you know, it's just like, oh, okay. Damn, that's really cool just to, you know, be there. Damn, Big Sean dropped that album. That's my homie. Let me listen to that. Oh, shit, that shit is crazy as fuck. This gives me an idea for some other shit I could do down the road. Let me call Sean and see if he wants to be on it. You know, different things like that. But for the most part, I was just into like indie rock and like all this different type of music because, you know, you just need an escape. You need something that you can do and that's fun. And I'm going to be honest, this whole time, because like when I'm away, fans think like, oh, he's like just chilling, but like, no, I'm working. Like when I'm not doing something, I'm working. Because even though I've been home, because I've been saying for like the last year and a half, I just want to be home. And the whole time I've been home, even though I truly have gotten rest and it's helped me with my anxiety and I still deal with it every day and feel a little weird or whatever, but it's like weird has become normal and I've accepted the anxiety and it's like really dope. I mean, anxiety sucks, but it's really cool to understand and realize like I am okay, things are fine. But my being home, even though I've rested, has been spent, I mean, constantly working.
Right.
You know, we're all work. And that's not healthy and that's balance. I think I'm gonna get another tattoo about balance on me because, you know, happy wife, happy life, it's a great reminder and it's a real thing.
Yep.
And it makes me happy when my wife is happy, but I also need to remember to balance myself. So I think I'm gonna do that to have that there. But anyway.
Do you know what you're gonna do?
I think either just balance or balance yourself or remember to balance yourself or something like that. Something about balance and me and, you know, or just balance. I don't know. Disconnection is a big deal.
Did you notice different energy when you weren't on Twitter or Instagram? Did it change your mood in any way? Or
it's a lot better. When you're not constantly looking at your phone, there's always something to do. There's always an email to write. There's always a note to have or this or that or a tweet to tweet or this or that. But when you step back, like I'd get rid of my phone for a few days. Well, like, all right, if I just didn't look at my phone and I looked at my phone in like 6 hours, it would be like so blown up. But if I tell everybody, hey, I'm taking a break, and I go back to my phone after 2 or 3 days, it really doesn't have that many because everybody knows, okay, Bob's chilling. Right. You know what I mean? So there is that energy of like, oh, I got to look, you know, and then like I have this pact with my wife. So we're not looking at Twitter. We're not looking at this. We're not doing anything. And then you get back and you're like, that much didn't really happen. It's like, it really isn't a big deal.
It's a fake busy. It's weird. Like the social media stuff, it's like, oh man, it's like, okay, if you're on Twitter and you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, like you can constantly be in it the whole day and feel like you did shit, and then you step back and you're like,
yeah, but I didn't do shit.
I was
just living my life through a cell phone screen. Yeah.
Also on Killing Spree, your boy Ansel sings at the end.
That's tight.
Definitely vibing out. I mean, I kind of got to see how it happened, but I mean, for some people it might be super random. Like, how does Ansel end up on a Logic song?
Yeah, I know. So we have worked together before.
And he's a classic trained singer, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, no, he's like ballet and like all this stuff. And he's like a huge like actor. But he's just a really good dude. So like the first time I saw him was because of the movie called Fault in Our Stars. And my wife like made me watch it because it's like, you know, this like super romantic movie. Yeah. And it was a really good movie. And I was like, damn, this is really good. And then it's crazy because right around that time, like a few months later, he hit me up on social media and like followed me, and then but like I don't know, we didn't talk for a while. It was really weird. And then he like hit me one day and was like, bro, like on Twitter, was just like, yo, you like hip hop needs you, and I'm like, all right, thanks. You know, like that's nice of you to say that. And then we kind of stayed in touch, and then just one day like I was in Atlanta while he was shooting this movie because a lot of film and stuff is done out there, and he was like, oh, can I come to your show? And I was like, sure. And I met him. He's just so fucking nice. And I was like, you sing? And he was like, yeah, oh yeah, I love to make music. I was like, oh, I thought you just DJ'd. And he's like, yeah, everybody thinks that. Because he was like, he also does DJing. And he's like, yeah, check out this song. And he like plays me the song. And I'm like, oh, who did the piano? He's like, oh, I did the piano. I'm like, damn, you can play the piano? And this fucking crazy, like super soulful dude starts singing. I'm like, damn. who the fuck is that? This black guy is awesome. You know what I mean? He's like, no, that's me. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, you're dope. And I was like, man, we should do something. He was like, of course. And then we worked on like some of his stuff and different da-da-da. And then I wrote this. So I wrote the lyrics you hear and I sang it. And it was like very fun, like auto-tune-y kind of vibe. And it was dope. And I liked it as it was because it really fit the vibe. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, man, you know what? He's got such a cool voice. And if he could add that true singer, like crazy talent over this, maybe it could sound good and da-da-da. And I was like, go in. If it doesn't work, like fuck it, nobody's tripping. We'll do something later. And it sounded great. Yeah. And that's how it happened.